Hi, my name is Alicia Adamson, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate some techniques that I've learned in a course called Learning How to Learn, offered by UC San Diego's Dr. Terrence Sejnowski and Dr. Barbara Oakley. The techniques I'm going to demonstrate are the Pomodoro technique, chunking, and diffuse and focused thinking modes. The other thing that I'm hoping to accomplish with this video is to encourage stay-at-home parents to continue or start their lifelong learning process. So I have an assistant who will be helping to demonstrate real-life learning in a real-life situation. I love you too. Time out. I need to interrupt the program to let you know that this class, Learning How to Learn, was completely free. Free for me, free for you, free for the 130,000 people worldwide who took this class with me. I can't recommend it enough. I would say this might have been the most important class I've ever taken. I've taken a lot of classes. The next offering starts in October 2014, and soon it will be available to anyone at any time. Get onto Coursera.org and take a look. And if you don't want to learn how to learn, take a chemistry class, or a business class, or a history class. There's all kinds of classes. Be on the path. Lifelong learner. A Pomodoro is a very simple technique. It's a timer, 20-25 minutes, to accomplish some amount of work. The great thing about the Pomodoro is that you don't have to think about the big project. It's not a heroic effort. You make a deal with yourself for about 20-25 minutes, you're going to focus on this piece of work. And then when the 20 minutes are over, you get to give yourself a reward. The reward is really important because the reward helps your brain, helps you feel like something good has just happened. You just did the work and you probably feel pretty good about the work. The reward increases the pleasurableness of the experience, and that will help you to believe that this technique is actually working. You may say, but this is just a trick. I'm just tricking my brain into that. Well, okay. But it's not really a trick if it worked. It's a technique, it's a tool. And if you believe that this technique can work, then you'll start applying it to other aspects of your life. Chunking can be a very complicated thing to explain, especially if we start going into the anatomy of the brain and how the brain actually works to store memories. But suffice it to say, for this project, when we chunk, what we're going to be doing is taking a big piece of work and breaking it into smaller pieces. Breaking it into pieces, again, avoids the heroic effort and allows me to feel a sense of accomplishment and mastery over small pieces of what I'm trying to accomplish, and then at the end of the project, bring all of the pieces together. There are two primary ways that we think when we're solving new problems. There's focused thinking and there's diffuse thinking. Focused thinking is just that. You're focused on the problem, you're focused on the elements of the artifact you're trying to learn. But in a diffuse mode of thinking, you're actually stepping back. Diffuse thinking is analogous to what computers do when they run processes in the background. I don't see on my screen a clock ticking every couple of microseconds in order to ensure that the correct time is being displayed, but there is a process running in the background that is keeping track of the time. Diffuse thinking is like that. I'm not necessarily consciously in the forefront of my mind aware of what's going on, but it's happening, and there's thinking happening. So diffuse thinking can happen when we go for walks, when we're doing the dishes, when we're falling asleep. Our brain does not stop trying to solve the problems that interest us during the day, just because we aren't focused specifically on them. So now that you have a sense of the techniques that I'm going to demonstrate, it might be time to explain what it is exactly we're going to be doing here. Well, I can't draw. It's facts. I can't draw. I can't draw. I can't draw. My whole life, I can't draw. I've been telling myself that. I've had no evidence to the contrary. I can't draw. So here we are in this class, learning how to learn. And I thought, why don't I apply these techniques to something I can't do and see what happens? I'm going to draw two pictures. One of the pictures I'm going to draw demonstrating the techniques that I've just discussed. The other image, I won't. I'm going to just draw it in one fell swoop and then maybe draw it again later. So with that said, and my baby's not crying, let's get started. So it's about 7:30 in the morning. I have selected two chakras that I think are equally difficult to draw. Chakra 1 and chakra 5, Mudara and Vishta. Now my daughter is still asleep and could wake up anytime or stay asleep, so I will get started. I get 1 hour. Go! Whoa, seriously. Time's up. Well, not bad. And my distraction did not wake up until right after we were done. So perfect. I think she likes me. I wouldn't say it was gallery quality work, but a huge improvement can be seen from the first drawing to the final drawing. I do not want anyone to suspect me of anosognosia.
Anosognosia or anosognosia.
Can you say it? So now that I have completed my 1 hour of drawing, I get a reward. Massage. Bonus topic. In one of our course interviews with Dr. Sejnowski, he told us that exercise was just as effective as having an enriched environment for developing new neurons in the hippocampus. Oh, you see those rosy cheeks? Those are an indicator of new neurons in my hippocampus. 45 minutes, Dance Central 3. I decided that in order to prepare for tomorrow, I would actually take some time to look at the symbol. I will be looking at it with a mind towards chunking the image, so we're going to be more deliberate about identifying those pieces. I think that perhaps just to get the juices flowing, attempt a first drawing of it. Well, that was ghastly. I'm able to determine right away that getting the 16 petals right is gonna take some work. The symbol has a lot more pieces. The triangle and the circle, curves to it or something. Lots to think about with respect to that symbol. Good morning, day 2. So my babysitter is gonna be here in about 10 minutes. At which time I will set a 20-minute timer to do my first Pomodoro for Vishta. Then I will go do an hour of yoga, and then I'll come back and do another 20-minute set. Last night was a lot of thinking about Vishta. In fact, when baby woke up at 3:30 to nurse, I busted out my phone real quick, took a look at it. Before I do my third and final Pomodoro, I'm going to actually get back to studying the material in the class. Maybe I'll have a little extra material to add to the end. Pomodoro! Now that my 20-minute Pomodoro is done, it is time for my reward. So we want a reward so that we can believe. And I really want to believe. I'm gonna go out there and play with my baby. Bonus topic. I just read the section of the book that starts talking about the memory palace and walking through the memory palace, leaving things in different parts of your memory palace so that when you walk through it again, you can remember something. And the example was given of an anatomy and physiology professor who uses a memory palace to remember the 5 layers of the dermis, the skin. I read it one time. Would it really work? So I tried it. You go in the basement, and then there's the basal. And you got to be careful on your way up because there's spines everywhere. So you have the spinium, and you're in the kitchen, and somebody spilled granulated sugar all over the floor. So there's the granium. So you keep going up. Before you go on the roof, you got to put on your luciderm, and then you go up on the roof and have a nice piece of corneum on the cob. I would call that a win. Okay, I did end everything with the EUM instead of, what is it? Spinosum, lucidum, I said luciderm, lotion. But if this was a multiple choice test, I think I would have been just fine. Pomodoro. Time's up again. So I just completed my second Pomodoro, enjoying my reward. I feel like it went really fast, and I didn't really get to draw a whole Vishta, but I feel like I was definitely on the right track. It'll work out. See how it goes. This is nice. Good job. Good morning. Day 3. Our final Pomodoro will occur just as soon as the babysitter gets here. I spent a good chunk of last evening reviewing the symbol in my mind, thinking about the 2 Pomodoros that I did, what I could, do differently. I had a really interesting realization while I was doing my first Pomodoro in drawing the bottom half of Vishta. I realized as I was drawing that the shape is basically half of a heart. And once I made that connection of the heart drawing chunk to the Vishta chunk that I'm trying to make, then it was very simple. I was like, oh right, I'm just drawing half a heart. A really nice breakthrough. The same token, I experienced Einstellen. The petals, I keep drawing them like I drew the petals of, there was this flower that I used to draw when I was in high school, because it was the only flower I could draw, that and a tulip. That's the petal I kept trying to draw, and that is not the petal that's on the diagram. Once I realized that I was trying to draw a petal that was not represented in the diagram, then it freed me up to find a better new way. Now let's see how it goes today. Pomodoro. Time's up. Oh, I've just finished my 3rd Pomodoro, and it's time for my reward. Licorice. Blueberry flavored, even. I think I'm more of a purist. Well, good morning. Day 4. Today I don't have a babysitter, so we're going to draw Vishta for 1 hour in the best way that we possibly can. Possibly when the baby goes for a nap. The baby's sleeping. I will try to draw for 1 hour very quietly. 22 minutes and 16 seconds left to go. Time's up. Unfortunately, somehow between the baby waking up in the middle of the first half of the drawing and a distraction I had at the second half of the drawing, I didn't manage to actually record the drawing. Sad face. Let's do a recap. Drawing 1. And the final. Okay, it'll do. Day 5. Babysitter will be here any minute, and I will endeavor to begin my final project. Welcome to day 6. You might be wondering, what happened to day 5? Well, life. This thing called life. So, it's day 6. I was thinking, this whole idea of having to push my project out a day leads to a really great bonus topic. A critical success factor for this project was not waiting to the last minute. Waiting to the last minute is a symptom of procrastination. We all procrastinate. How we choose to handle that procrastination is what's going to make the difference between a good student and a great student. One of the ways that I have ensured I have plenty of time to complete all of the steps I want to complete is to know what steps I want to complete. So what I did on the first day was made some lists. I actually made a little video of it, decided to edit it out, but here it is just for you. So here's my list, and it looks long, but some of it's notes, and I can be quite verbose. So keep that in mind. It's doable, trust me. Even though I've had to push my project out by a day, I have plenty of time to finish my last drawing, record the final set of videos I need to complete the project. Time's up. So I need to throw in a qualitative statement. I will say that I did not have any fun in that last hour. Actually realized probably 3/4 of the way through that I had forgotten a whole piece that I needed to draw. I felt like I was just winging it. I don't think I could say that there's any appreciable difference between Vishta and Pomodoro Final. I'll let my friends weigh in on that. But I will say that the experience of drawing it was very different. What I'm discovering is that part of what is going to work for me is having smaller chunks of time. I get too much going on. I get pulled away. And I find it's satisfying to just sit for a little bit, do a little bit of work, get up and go do something else. Had some technical issues, gotta try a different camera. I took the two images and I put them on Facebook and asked my friends to vote which of the two images showed the most improvement. There was a 1-point spread. The unexpected cool thing that happened is that people actually said, hey, good job, that looks really good. And I had to pause for a second and say, well, I guess I can draw. I mean, they're not, like I said, not gallery quality stuff, but huge improvement. What I think is really important to take away from this lesson for myself is that drawing Muladhara at the very end was not a fun experience for me. As we discussed in the beginning of the video, the idea of learning being pleasurable is important. It's important for helping to stave off procrastination, and certainly when something is fun and feels good, it's easier to get motivated to actually do the work. And so I found that applying lots of diffuse thinking and focused thinking on Vishta made the whole experience fun. I have certainly come to appreciate the Pomodoro technique. I have been using it in other areas of my life. I guess you could say I'm a believer. My name is Alicia Adamson. It's been fun. Thanks. Bonus topic. Anything you want to tell our students? Of course. What? Give me back my spoon. Give it.